The chapter begins the exact moment the trial descends. Time itself seems to freeze, and Chinbai feels the hourglass of time officially soul-binding with him. He is finally able to see its abilities. The first, go back in time, confirms it was the source of his rebirth, though it now has a 10-year cooldown. The second, and more immediately useful, is a newly unlocked skill, status save and read. This allows him to mark his current physical and mental state and reload at any time, with only a 1-hour cooldown, an incredibly powerful life-saving skill. As time resumes, a confused Song Ziqiang asks if he just gave an order. Quickly covering his tracks, Chinbai instructs them to secure the villa and prepare to clear the area at daylight. His own talents have also evolved with the start of the trial. He now possesses amethyst pupils for offense and defense, and the crystal of insight, an analytical ability that lets him see the detailed attributes and weaknesses of his enemies, from common zombies to more advanced evolvers. A short time later in the villa lobby, his team is already handling the initial chaos. When one member is wounded, another uses a high-speed recovery ability while the pre-supplied zombie serum is administered. Seeing that his preparations have paid off and his team is capable of managing the situation, Chinbai tells them he has more important things to do and promptly leaves. He rushes towards Jiancheng City University. In his past life, he remembers seeing a strange sign appear in the sky above the university on the first day of the apocalypse. He didn't understand its significance then and missed the opportunity, a regret he won't repeat. He knows now that the sign marks the descent of a god's avatar. Arriving at the university, he finds the glowing symbol, just as he remembered. A man appears and introduces himself as a merchant interested in doing business. Chinbai agrees, and the merchant reveals his true identity. He is Lord Lido, the avatar for Tao, the god of trading. More surprisingly, Lido says that he has heard of Chinbai by name and, after seeing his pioneer symbol, has been eagerly awaiting his arrival. The chapter opens at Jiancheng University, where Chinbai meets Lord Lido, the avatar of the god of trading. Chinbai lays on the flattery, and Lido, pleased, gifts him a Goblin Chamber of Commerce membership card, granting a 12% discount. Lido then showcases his incredible merchandise, including an S-rank legendary sniper rifle and other powerful, profession-specific items. Chinbai admits that while he wants to buy them all, he cannot afford them at this early stage of the trial. Changing tactics, Chinbai points out that he knows gods cannot directly participate in the trial, and must invest in mortals to profit. He boldly asks Lido for his investment. Intrigued by Chinbai's knowledge and audacity, Lido is hesitant. Chinbai presses further, mentioning a legendary treasure in Lido's possession that all other gods covet, and asks him to invest it in him. Lido acknowledges that Chinbai's high talent and lack of allegiance to another god are tempting, but talent alone isn't enough to guarantee a return on his most valuable asset. To earn it, Chinbai must prove his worth. Lido issues him an SSS-ranked mission called Ultimate Investment. The objective is to find a special secret realm within Jiancheng University, defeat a creature inside that Lido is interested in, and bring back a part of its body as proof. The reward for completing this mission is the treasure Chinbai sought, an SSS-grade dual profession scroll, which would allow him to have 2 professions simultaneously. Lido gives him a special coin to summon his shadow upon completing the task and then departs. Elsewhere on campus, the situation is grim. A foreigner named Tom is terrorizing a group of Chinese students, demanding they strip and beg to become his slaves. When one student defiantly calls him a white pig bastard, Tom kills him, promising to make his death slow. Just as Tom is about to menace the others, Chinbai arrives on the scene. Completely ignoring Tom, he calmly addresses the beaten and terrified students, asking, Are any of you in medical faculty? I'm looking for something, and I need the help from someone who's familiar with the medical faculty. The chapter picks up in the university gymnasium. Chin-bai asks for a student from the faculty of medicine, and a terrified young woman named Lin Chi is pointed out. Ignoring the foreign bully Tom, who is now pathetically begging for his life, Chin-bai instructs the other students to leave and make their way to his villa for safety. He tells Lin Chi to stay. Lin Chi, a foreign exchange student, completely misunderstands his intentions, assuming he wants to keep her as a prize. Chin-bai bluntly corrects her, stating he has no interest in a bear written by thousands, and that he simply needs her, as a medical student, to guide him to a specific location on campus. Lin Chi leads him to the medical research building. She tells him about two potential places of interest: a restricted research room on the 3rd floor that contains various virus and bacteria samples, and the anatomy teacher's storage area in the basement, which is connected to the building's incinerator. They first investigate the virus research room, which Chin-bai sees as a treasure trove. He uses his ability to absorb various strains of influenza virus, collecting virus points. After absorbing enough, he unlocks and upgrades a new skill: epidemic influenza. This powerful ability allows him to release a virus that debuffs all attributes of targets in a wide area and inflicts them with a sneezing status, which can interrupt casting, charging, and aiming, a potent crowd control skill. The Blacklight virus also grants him 2 new passive upgrades: Flying Eaves and Walking Walls, for enhanced movement and balance, and Combat Focus, for heightened senses and precise muscle control. Finding nothing else relevant to his quest for Lord Leto, Chin-bai decides their next stop is the basement. As he and a nervous Lin Chi enter the dark anatomy storage area, a system prompt appears before him. Confirm entry into the instance. The cooling incinerator, recommended level 5 to 10. The prompt warns that if the instance is not cleared within 2 days, it will disappear permanently. Chin-bai realizes he has found the secret realm from his mission. The chapter throws us directly into the action inside. The cooling incinerator. Instance dungeon. Chin-bai is effortlessly dispatching waves of splicer infant spiders, noting the massive amount of experience they provide. He quickly clears the minions, gaining enough experience to reach level 4 and earning 2 free attribute points. With the lesser monsters gone, he taunts the unseen boss, eager for a real challenge after so many days. The boss, a grotesque creature called the Biomaniac, appears and engages him in a grueling, 1-hour-long battle. The creature possesses incredible regenerative abilities, seemingly healing from any damage Chin-bai inflicts. However, Chin-bai has an ace up his sleeve. He uses his status red ability, instantly restoring his own body to the perfect condition he saved earlier. With his stamina and health reset, he outlasts the boss's healing and finally lands the killing blow, earning a massive 10,000 experience points. Immediately after his victory, Chin-bai makes a strategic move. He uploads the entire video of his clearance of the Nightmare level dungeon to the Pioneer chat group, setting a viewing price of 1 copper coin. The group immediately explodes with activity. The Pioneers are stunned by his power, the ferocity of the boss, and most of all, his instant recovery ability. They debate the massive power gap between an SS rank and Chin-bai's SSS rank talent. One insightful member, the only trash in the group, speculates that there was likely a puzzle or mechanic to solving the dungeon, but Chin-bai was so overwhelmingly powerful that he simply broke all the rules and won through sheer brute force, a theory others agree with. Back inside the now cleared dungeon, Chin-bai consumes the remains of the Biomaniac boss. This rewards him with 300 Black Light Virus Evolution points, a currency separate from his talent points, used exclusively to evolve the abilities of the Blacklight virus itself. A system prompt immediately announces that the blacklight virus has evolved, increasing his already formidable recovery speed by another 300%. The chapter opens with Chin by sorting through his loot after defeating the biomaniac boss. The rewards are substantial: an A-level biodemon, profession scroll, a C-grade genetic essence that permanently boosts his stats, a D-grade special defensive item called Faceless Skin, and a D-rank Activate Cells skill book. He uses the genetic essence himself and sets aside the other valuable items for potential trades. He prepares to leave and turn in the boss's body part to complete Lord Leto's mission, but he has a sudden realization. A divine avatar like Leto wouldn't have come to this specific location just for a simple dungeon. Recalling that Leto called their meeting an unexpected bonus, Chinbai deduces that Leto's original target must be something else hidden within the instance. Driven by this suspicion, he thoroughly re-examines the incinerator, climbing up a long, hidden pipe. At the very top, he discovers a secret item, a mysterious mask. With its unnamed status and question mark description, he immediately recognizes it as an incredibly rare object, likely a fragment of an SSS-class item or something related to a god. This, he concludes, was Leto's true objective. His new goal is to hide the mask from the god of trading. He checks the earnings from his popular dungeon video and finds he has over 800 gold coins, but he needs 1,000 to unlock the storage function, a private, secure space protected by the will of the universe, making it the only place to safely conceal the mask. Deciding to delay completing the mission, he leaves the university with Lin Chi. Since it's late and dangerous, he opts to find a high-class hotel for the night. Lin Chi leads them to a nearby love hotel. Inside the room, Lin Chi misinterprets the situation and begins to change into lingerie. Chinbai plays along, critiquing her outfits and making her try on different costumes until she puts on a cat-like, pet, outfit. After amusing himself, he checks his funds again and sees that viewer payments have finally pushed him over the 1,000 gold coin threshold. He immediately spends the gold to unlock his personal storage space. With his ultimate prize now safely hidden away from any prying divine senses, he states that it's time to proceed to the next part of the mission, presumably to finally meet with Leto and turn in the original quest item. The chapter opens with Chin by preparing to summon Lord Leto. He recalls a saying from his past life: "When trading with Leto, emotions are part of the bargaining chip." Using this knowledge, he summons the god and feigns being upset. He complains that Leto intentionally hid the fact that the dungeon was nightmare level, and that he almost died. Leto, a master of trade, understands the tactic. He explains it was part of the test to see if Chinbai could handle the unexpected. As a gesture of goodwill for this misunderstanding, he allows Chinbai to choose his reward for the first part of the mission. Chinbai strategically selects a B-rank production blueprint, the Scroll of Recovery. Pleased with the transaction, Leto issues the final task for the SSS level, Ultimate Investment, mission. The objective is staggering. Chinbai must obtain 2 SSS-level profession scrolls. Despite the near impossibility of the task, Chinbai accepts. Meanwhile, back at the villa, Song Zichung's forces are in a desperate battle against a powerful level 5 mutant giant rat. The creature's attributes are 3 to 4 times higher than theirs, and it has already wiped out 2 teams. As the rat closes in on a helpless Song Zichung, Chinbai arrives in the nick of time, effortlessly killing the monster and saving her. After ordering Lung Shuang to clean the battlefield and compensate the families of the fallen, Chinbai takes Song Zichung back to the villa to debrief. She reports that after they cleared the initial zombies, hordes of these mutant rats appeared from the east, destroying 6 warehouses and causing over 100 casualties. Chinbai reassures her she did well and tells her and her exhausted team to get some rest. He will personally handle the remaining rats and investigate their source. Not wanting to leave him unattended, Song Ziqiang introduces him to a woman they rescued while clearing the area, a lawyer named Qin Lingyu. She is an old acquaintance of Song Ziqiang and is willing to become one of Chen Bai's people. Song Ziqiang suggests she can stay and assist him with logistical or legal matters. Chen Bai agrees, sending the others away. Now alone with the lawyer, he makes a suggestive remark about her profession being sharp-tongued and asks her to let me experience it. Chen Bai and the lawyer, Qin Lingyu, after their session, he tasks her with creating a comprehensive set of rules for their new territory, the Dongshan Villa area, with different regulations for the high-end, hillside, and lower mountain neighborhoods. The next morning, Chen Bai gathers a team of his most trusted men. He leads them to a sewerage outlet, which he has identified as the entrance to the lair of the mutant rats that attacked the villa. He explains his purpose. While he could clear the nest himself, he needs to train them to become strong, reliable protectors for the community, especially for when he is not around. He tells them to call him Brother Bai from now on. Upon entering the sewers, the entire team receives a quest: kill all the mutant rats, eliminate the Rat King, and investigate the source of the mutation, with rewards based on completion. They fight their way through 16 sections of pipeline, taking down rats and collecting dropped materials. Eventually, a single, much stronger rat appears, the Rat King. One of the men uses a scouting skill to view its high attributes before Chen Bai steps in and kills it instantly. The king drops a piece of equipment, the plague boots. Chen Bai notes that it's part of a 5-piece set, and while it's a lower grade, a full set bonus is incredibly powerful. With the Rat King dead, only the final objective remains: investigating the cause of the mutation. As they venture deeper, they find the pipes are eerily empty. Chen Bai, however, begins to absorb numerous unknown plague viruses from the air: spore plague, bone spur plague, rotting plague, and even Black Death plague. He immediately realizes these are not terrestrial viruses, and their potency is high enough to harm even evolved beings. He has found the source of the mutation. Deep in the sewers, at the source of the rat mutation, Chen Bai discovers a mysterious scroll left by the plague cult and someone named Lillian Zhao. After absorbing all the potent, non-terrestrial plague viruses in the area, he completes his quest and receives a Seal of Plague as a reward. This seal immediately triggers a new SSS-level mission: Plague Cult. The description reveals that the cult has sacrificed old gods to welcome a prophesied true god, and possession of the seal qualifies him to be a candidate for that title. His first objective is to find a plague bringer and take their test. Chen Bai is thrilled. Becoming the god of plague would give him the power he needs to one day confront his old enemy, Heloise. Simultaneously, 2 new dungeons begin to form in the area. The first is a Hell difficulty, Plague Sewer, which will take a month to generate. The second is a Normal difficulty version, recommended levels 1 to 10, that is available immediately. Seizing the opportunity, Chen Bai decides to use the normal dungeon to power level his forces. He returns to the villa and organizes his people into teams, instructing them to run the new dungeon 3 times a day. He forms his own party with Lung Shuang, Qinger, and a reluctant Song Ge, telling them he won't intervene unless absolutely necessary. He then creates a new private chat group, the White Emperor Palace, and invites his teammates. Song Ge is furious when she doesn't receive an invitation. Chen Bai mercilessly teases her, calling the group his harem for loyal and capable people, and saying a little girl who was scared shitless of a zombie doesn't get an invitation. Inside the dungeon, Lung Shuang demonstrates her B-level illusion talent. Chen Bai explains that Song Ji is C-ranked, natural aptitude, isn't a combat skill but a growth accelerator that boosts her experience gain by 50%. Spurred on by his taunts, Song-gu manages to kill 3 mutant rats by herself and proudly demands recognition. Chin-bai continues to tease her about wanting to join his harem until her mother, Song Zicheong, intervenes. She explains that Song-gu was simply jealous that another woman, Qin Lingyu, was introduced to him first. Giving in, Chin-bai sends the invitation. For her mom's sake. Song-gu instantly accepts and runs off to kill more monsters. Song Zicheong thanks Chin-bai for being a decisive, daddy figure, noting that it means a lot to her daughter. The chapter opens with the release of Chin-bai's team-based clearance video of the Dongshan Sewer dungeon. The Pioneer chat group erupts with discussion as they pay the 10 copper coin fee to watch. They are impressed not only by Chin by one-shotting the level 10 boss, but also by how effective his guidance is for the less combat-oriented women on his team. Elsewhere, the foreigner Tom and his group also watch the video, shocked and intimidated by Chin-bai's display of power. Back at the villa, Chin-bai gives Song Zicheong a new set of tasks and items. He instructs her, Qin Lingyu, and Luli to establish an economy and equipment trading system for their growing base. He then hands over key assets, the Wall of Flesh, material to build infinitely growing defensive walls, a life-saving return to city scroll, and the faceless skin, equipment for her personal use. Touched by his generosity, Song Zicheong promises a surprise and says she will dress up her daughter, Song-gu, for him. Later, while equipping a newly acquired plague robe to get his second set bonus, Chin-bai receives a private message from a pioneer named Dreamy. She asks for personal guidance, as she is not skilled in combat. After he asks for her talent details, she reveals she has an SSS-level talent called Dream Butterfly. Chin-bai is shocked. He has never heard of this talent, meaning its user must have died very early in his previous life. Dreamy explains her incredible abilities. She can enter a dream world that mirrors reality, invite others into her dream, and even manipulate aspects of it through dream weaving. She proposes sending Chin-bai a dream totem, so he can enter her dream world to guide her, where her real body would be safe from harm. Chin-bai is initially hesitant, as he would be powerless in a world she completely controls. To reassure him, Dreamy offers to sign an Evolver's Contract, a magically binding agreement recognized by the will of the universe that costs a hefty 10 gold coins. She explains she can afford it because she can kill real-world monsters from within her dream and even adjust their loot drop rates. As further incentive, she offers him 2 D-level skill books. Convinced by the contract and the offer, Chin-bai agrees. The scene shifts to him in a room at the villa, looking at the dream totem image she sent. He begins to relax and focus, a 3-minute process required to enter her dream world. The chapter ends as he ponders the frightening potential of her power. Chin-bai entering the dream world of the SSS rank pioneer, Dreamy, who asks him to call her Ming Ming. She explains that her dream world is a reflection of the real one, and as a dream traveler, she can only enter and modify it. They proceed to a gym to begin her combat training. In the dream world, Ming Ming's attributes are boosted to match her high mental strength of 48. However, her actual fighting technique is comically inept, which Chin-bai likens to a turtle punch from children's martial arts. He easily schools her, giving her 3 fundamental rules to practice: control her balance, know her target, and watch her opponent. The story jumps forward 7 days. Back in the real world, at the Dongshan Villa area, the lawyer Qin Lingyu reports to Chin-bai that the new laws have been successfully implemented, and the settlement is now running smoothly. With his base established, Chin-bai announces that he is leaving the next morning to pursue other opportunities and treasures, even though he is still missing the final piece of his plague armor set. Song Ziqiang teases him that if he's gone too long, his palace might get flooded, his women might cause trouble, and he playfully agrees to hold a discussion to deal with it. The next morning, just as he is about to depart, Qin Lingyu informs him of trouble at the settlement at the foot of the mountain. A group, claiming to be his classmates, is causing a disturbance. Qin Bai confronts the troublemakers. Led by the former student council president, they are protesting the settlement's daily fee of 1 copper coin. The president argues that since Qin Bai is powerful and has resources, he has a moral obligation to help everyone for free. Qin Bai has no patience for this argument. He contemptuously tells the crowd that the rules are the rules. He gives them a final, non-negotiable ultimatum. Anyone who doesn't accept the terms must leave within 3 minutes, or they will be shot without mercy.